My beloved child, come closer for a moment. There is something I have longed for you to hear, something your heart may not expect, yet deeply needs today. You have spent so much time wondering whether you matter, whether your prayers still reach me, whether I still see you after all the disappointments and failures you believe define your story. Hear me now. You are precious to me beyond what words can fully express. I have called you by name. I have never turned my eyes away from you, and I have never stopped inviting you into my presence. You did not find this message by accident. Out of countless voices, distractions, and moments that could have claimed your attention, you were led here. Something within you paused. Something in your spirit recognized that this was not just another video. That quiet pull was not coincidence. I have been drawing your heart toward mine because I know the questions you have been carrying in silence. I know about the nights when loneliness felt heavier than you admitted. I know the private tears you wiped away before anyone noticed. I know the disappointment of prayers that seemed unanswered and the fear that whispered you had been forgotten. I know how often you have looked at your life and wondered whether you were still loved, still chosen, still worthy of hope. My child, I have been near every step of the way. Even when you could not sense my presence, I was surrounding you with my care, sustaining you in ways you could not yet see. Do not hurry away from this moment. If you dismiss it too quickly, you may miss the reminder your weary heart has been longing for. You may continue listening to voices that tell you you are alone, unseen, or beyond restoration. But if you remain, if you open your heart to my voice, you may begin to understand a truth that has always been there. My love for you has never depended on your perfection, your achievements, or your ability to have everything figured out. It has remained constant through every victory and every failure, through every season of faith and every season of doubt. Beloved, my desire is not to burden you with fear or overwhelm you with emotion. My desire is to draw you closer, to restore what has grown weary, to strengthen what has become fragile, and to remind you that you have never walked alone. Your life has purpose. Your story still matters. The chapters you thought were ending in defeat may become the very places where my grace is most clearly seen. So stay with me. Let the noise of the world grow quiet for a little while, and allow your spirit to listen with fresh hope. What I am about to share is not simply another message, it is an invitation to discover more deeply the love, faithfulness, and purpose I have always held out to you. And it is the doorway to everything I want your heart to understand next. My child, there is a reason your heart keeps returning to me even after you try to distract yourself with everything else around you. You have spent so much time carrying responsibilities, trying to stay strong for people, trying to keep moving forward even when you felt emotionally drained inside. From the outside, your life may have looked normal to others, but deep within you there has been a quiet emptiness that nothing in this world could fully satisfy. You tried to ignore it at times. You convinced yourself that maybe you were just tired, maybe life was simply difficult, or maybe you needed more success, more stability, or more love from the people around you. But the deeper truth was always waiting underneath those thoughts. Your soul was longing for me. I saw it every moment when you searched for peace in places that could never truly hold your heart together. I watched you place your hope in people who were never capable of carrying the emotional weight you placed on them. I saw you expect temporary things to heal an eternal ache. And when those things eventually disappointed you, it left you feeling even more exhausted because part of you still wondered why nothing ever seemed to fill the emptiness completely. My child, it was never because you were weak. It was because your heart was created to live connected to me. You do not need to hide your dependence on me anymore. The truth is, you were never meant to carry life alone. Even during the seasons when you drifted from me, I never drifted from you. I stayed close through every sleepless night, every hidden fear, every silent breakdown you kept buried from others. I know how many times you smiled in conversations while privately feeling overwhelmed inside. I know how often you told yourself to keep going while secretly feeling emotionally worn thin. And still, I never became disappointed in you for needing me. I wanted you to realize that my presence in your life is not a weakness to overcome. It is the very place where your soul finds rest. When your heart whispers, "Lord, I can't live without you," it is finally speaking honestly. Because without me, your spirit grows tired trying to survive on things that were never designed to sustain you. I have always been the peace you were searching for in every other place. My child, I need you to slow down for a moment and listen carefully to what your heart has been trying to tell you. You have spent so much energy searching for peace in places that were never capable of protecting your soul. You kept hoping that the next relationship, the next opportunity, the next season of life would finally quiet the restlessness inside you. Yet every time you reached the thing you thought would complete you, the feeling faded faster than you expected. What once looked so important eventually left you feeling empty again, and that disappointment became heavier each time because you started wondering if something inside you was permanently broken. But you are not broken beyond healing, my child. You are simply exhausted from trying to replace me with things that cannot love you the way I do. I never created your heart to survive on temporary comfort. That is why some distractions satisfy you for only a moment before the emptiness quietly returns again. You can surround yourself with noise and still feel lonely. You can sit beside people and still feel emotionally distant. You can achieve things you once prayed for and still feel like something important is missing inside you. Your soul recognizes when it is far from me, even when your mind tries to ignore it. Come closer to me now. Stop trying to carry your emotional weight alone while pretending you are managing everything well. You do not need to impress me with strength you no longer have. Bring me the tired parts of your heart. Bring me the fears you hide behind your daily routines. Let me into the places you rarely allow anyone else to see. I already know what lives there, and I am not turning away from you because of it. You keep blaming yourself for feeling weak when life becomes too heavy, but I want you to understand something clearly. Your need for me is not failure, it is truth. The world keeps teaching you to depend only on yourself, but your soul was never designed to survive disconnected from my presence. You were made for closeness with me. That is why your spirit feels calmer when you finally stop running and speak honestly with me again. So stop searching for permanent peace in temporary hands. Stop forcing yourself to believe you can heal your heart without me. Sit with me. Talk to me openly. Let your walls come down. I am not asking you to perform for my love. I am asking you to trust me enough to stop hiding from it. The moment you stop chasing everything else and let me become the center of your life again, you will begin to understand why your soul has been calling for me all along. My child, there were so many moments when you thought nobody truly understood what was happening inside you. You became skilled at hiding your pain behind ordinary conversations and quiet routines. People saw your smile, your responsibilities, your ability to keep functioning, but they did not see the emotional exhaustion underneath it all. They did not hear the thoughts that kept you awake at night or feel the heaviness you carried into another morning while pretending everything was fine. But I saw it all. I never looked away from your pain, not even during the seasons when you felt distant from me. I was there during the nights when your mind would not rest. I heard the silent prayers you whispered when you did not even know how to explain what you were feeling anymore. Sometimes you sat alone trying to understand why your heart felt so overwhelmed, and even then I stayed near you. You may not have sensed my presence clearly in those moments, but I was holding you together in ways you never realized. There were days when you came closer to giving up than anyone around you could imagine, yet something inside you kept pushing forward. That strength did not come from nowhere, my child. I was carrying you through places your own strength could not survive. Stop telling yourself that you have to handle everything alone. Stop believing the lie that your struggles make you too difficult to love. I know the wounds people left behind inside you. I know how disappointment changed the way you trust others. I know how many times you felt emotionally abandoned while trying to stay strong on the outside. But do not close your heart completely because of what hurt you. Invite me into those broken places instead. Let me heal the parts of you that became tired from carrying pain in silence. You keep trying to appear strong because you are afraid of becoming a burden to others, but you have never been a burden to me. Bring your confusion to me. Bring your anger, your fear, your weariness, and your questions. Speak honestly with me instead of hiding behind polite prayers that never touch your real emotions. I already know your heart completely, and still I stay. Come sit with me again. Breathe for a moment. Let my presence quiet the noise inside your mind. You do not have to earn rest before receiving my comfort. You only need to stop running long enough to let me love you through the pain you have been carrying by yourself for far too long. My child, you have spent so much of your life trying to stay emotionally afloat that you no longer remember what true rest feels like. Even during quiet moments, your mind keeps moving. Your thoughts keep racing from one fear to another, from one responsibility to the next. You carry conversations in your head long after they end. You replay disappointments. You prepare yourself for problems that have not even happened yet. And while everyone around you sees you continuing with daily life, they do not realize how tired your inner world has become. Come closer to me now and stop trying to survive entirely on your own strength. Sit with me for a moment without rushing away emotionally. Let your heart settle. You do not always have to be preparing for the next storm. You do not always have to hold yourself together so tightly. I never created you to live in constant emotional survival mode. That heaviness you carry was never meant to become your normal condition. I know why you struggle to rest sometimes. Life taught you to stay guarded. Pain taught you to expect disappointment. Certain wounds convinced you that if you relaxed emotionally, something else would break apart around you. But look at how exhausted your soul has become from carrying everything without bringing it fully to me. You wake up tired even after sleeping. You keep functioning, but your spirit feels stretched thin. You keep showing up for others while quietly neglecting the condition of your own heart. So let me invite you into something different. Stop trying to control every outcome. Stop rehearsing every fear inside your mind. Give me the pressure you were never meant to carry by yourself. Speak honestly with me instead of silently drowning in your thoughts. I am not asking you to become emotionally perfect before you come near me. I am asking you to trust me enough to let your walls come down. You keep searching for peace as if it is hidden somewhere far away, but real peace begins when you stop resisting my presence. Let me calm the places inside you that constantly feel unsettled. Let me remind your heart that you are safe with me. The world may continue changing around you, but my love for you does not shift with circumstances. I remain steady even when your emotions do not. Breathe slowly now and release the pressure to carry tomorrow before it arrives. Bring your fears into my hands instead of carrying them deep inside your chest. Rest here with me. Your soul has been thirsty for this closeness longer than you realize, and I am not turning you away now that you are finally letting me near the places that hurt. My child, as you rest here in my presence and allow your weary soul to breathe again, hear me carefully now. There are still countless hearts wandering through exhaustion, fear, and silent pain, searching for the same comfort I am pouring over you in this moment. I am using this message as a river in the wilderness, carrying my voice into dark and hopeless places so my children can finally remember they are not alone. And when you sow into this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not merely giving money. You are placing oil into the lamp that keeps my word burning across the earth. Did I not say, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over"? I am speaking that promise over every willing heart right now. What you release in obedience, I will multiply in ways you cannot yet see. Peace over your home, strength over your spirit, and provision arriving at the appointed time. This is not a small moment. This is a divine invitation to help carry healing to souls that are desperate for rest. Do not ignore the stirring in your spirit. Act now. Support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, with the PayPal link in the description, and become part of the harvest I am gathering. My child, there are moments when you smile outwardly while quietly carrying guilt that nobody around you fully understands. You still revisit old mistakes in your mind as if replaying them will somehow change what already happened. Sometimes you look at your past and feel frustrated with yourself for choices you made when you were hurting, confused, afraid, or emotionally lost. Even after asking for forgiveness, part of you still struggles to believe you deserve peace again. I need you to stop carrying that weight alone. Come sit with me honestly and listen carefully. I do not speak to you the way your shame speaks to you. Shame keeps reminding you of who you were at your lowest moments. Shame whispers that you ruined too much, failed too many times, or drifted too far from me to fully recover. But that voice is not mine. I have never looked at you with the coldness you sometimes direct toward yourself. I know every detail of your life already. I know the mistakes you regret before you even mention them to me. Yet I still move toward you with love instead of rejection. You keep acting as though your failures shocked me, but nothing about your story surprised me. I knew every weakness, every fearful decision, every broken season long before you finally brought them into the light. And still I chose to stay close to you. Stop punishing yourself for surviving difficult seasons imperfectly. You were trying to navigate pain while carrying burdens that exhausted your heart. Some choices came from loneliness. Some came from fear. Some came from searching for comfort in the wrong places because you felt emotionally empty inside. I am not excusing what harmed you or others, but I am asking you to stop defining your identity by the worst moments of your life. Let me heal the shame that keeps pulling your heart backward. Open those hidden rooms inside you where regret still lives quietly. Bring those memories to me instead of burying them deeper. You do not have to clean yourself up before receiving my love. You do not have to earn your way back into my presence through endless self-condemnation. Walk with me now instead of remaining trapped in yesterday. Lift your head again. Receive the mercy you keep offering everyone else except yourself. I did not create you to spend your entire life chained to old versions of who you used to be. Your story is still unfolding, my child, and I am not finished restoring the parts of you that pain tried to convince were beyond healing. My child, there are parts of your heart you rarely allowed anyone to touch. You have learned how to protect yourself carefully because life taught you that not everyone handles your vulnerability gently. So you became cautious. You started hiding certain emotions behind normal conversations, responsibilities, and routines that made everything appear stable on the surface. Yet underneath that calm appearance, there are wounds you still carry quietly. There are fears you rarely speak out loud because you worry people would misunderstand them or dismiss them completely. But you do not have to hide those places from me. Come closer and let me into the rooms inside you that you keep locked away from everyone else. I already know what lives there. I know the memories that still sting unexpectedly when something reminds you of them. I know the insecurities you try to silence during the day but still wrestle with at night. I know how often you question your worth after disappointment or rejection touches your heart again. Even now, you still carry certain words people spoke over you years ago as if they became permanent truths about your identity. Listen to me carefully and stop agreeing with every cruel thought that passes through your mind. Stop treating yourself like someone beyond healing. You are not too damaged for my love. You are not too complicated for my presence. Let me sit with you in those fragile places where your confidence weakened and your trust became fearful. Invite me into the loneliness you hide so well from others. Bring me the emotions you keep swallowing in silence because you are tired of pretending you are unaffected. I do not love a carefully edited version of you. I love the real you standing underneath all the emotional armor you built to survive difficult seasons. That is the person I want near me. So stop apologizing for needing comfort. Stop thinking you must appear emotionally polished before opening your heart fully to me. Your honesty matters more to me than your image. Sit quietly with me now and let your soul breathe without pretending. Tell me what hurts. Tell me what still confuses you. Tell me where you feel weak, angry, disappointed, or afraid. I can handle your truth, my child. You do not have to filter your heart before bringing it into my presence. The more honestly you bring yourself to me, the more deeply you will understand that my love was never dependent on how perfectly you held yourself together. My child, there is a reason you keep returning to me after every exhausting season of trying to carry life without fully leaning on my presence. No matter how far your attention drifts into the noise of this world, something inside you always begins pulling you back toward me again. You may try distracting yourself with work, responsibilities, entertainment, relationships, or endless thoughts racing through your mind, but eventually your soul grows tired from surviving without the closeness it truly needs. That ache you feel is not random. Your spirit remembers where home is. I know you sometimes feel frustrated with yourself because you drift emotionally and spiritually when life becomes overwhelming. You wonder why your heart can feel strong one moment and distant the next. But do not turn your struggle into another reason to hide from me. Instead, let it become the reason you come closer. Bring your inconsistency to me honestly. Bring your distracted mind, your tired heart, and your worn-down emotions. I am not standing far away waiting for you to become flawless before welcoming you back near me. Come sit with me again without fear. Stop delaying the closeness your soul has been craving. You keep trying to survive emotionally disconnected from me, but your spirit keeps reminding you that nothing in this world replaces my presence for long. Temporary comfort fades quickly. Human approval changes constantly. Circumstances rise and fall like shifting sand. But my love remains steady through every season you walk through. You do not need to force yourself to perform spiritually impressive routines to earn your way back toward me. Start simply. Speak honestly with me again. Invite me into your ordinary moments instead of only reach you for me when everything falls apart. Let me walk with you through the middle of your daily life, not just through emergencies. I want closeness with you that feels real, personal, and alive. There were moments when you almost convinced yourself that you had drifted too far from me to feel deeply connected again. But look at your heart now. Even after every difficult season, you are still reaching for me. You are still listening for my voice. You are still longing for peace that only comes from being near me. That longing itself is proof that I never stopped calling you closer. So stop running from the very place your soul feels safest. Open your heart again. Sit with me longer than your fears tell you to. Let my presence settle the parts of you that became restless from carrying too much alone. You were never created to feel at home anywhere farther from me. My child, I have watched how deeply you long to feel loved, understood, and chosen. That desire inside you is not wrong. I place the need for connection inside your heart because you were never created to live emotionally isolated from love. But somewhere along your journey, you started chasing affection from people who could not truly nourish your spirit. You gave pieces of your heart away hoping someone would finally make you feel secure, yet too often you were left carrying disappointment instead of peace. Some people loved you only when you were useful to them. Others stayed near while it benefited them emotionally, then disappeared when your heart needed gentleness in return. I know how much that wounded you. I know how many times rejection quietly convinced you that maybe you were too much to handle or somehow not enough to be fully loved. But stop accepting shallow love while your soul is starving for something deeper. Stop fighting to keep the attention of people who repeatedly make your heart feel small, anxious, or emotionally unsafe. I never wanted you to build your identity around the unstable opinions of others. Come closer to me and let me teach your heart what real love feels like. My love does not disappear when you struggle emotionally. I do not withdraw from you because you are tired, discouraged, or imperfect. Sit with me and notice the difference between chasing approval and resting securely in being loved. One leaves your soul exhausted. The other gives your spirit room to breathe again. You keep searching for reassurance from people while ignoring the voice that hath been calling you precious all along. Listen carefully to me now. You do not have to earn your value through constant performance. You do not need to prove your worth by overextending yourself emotionally just to keep others close. Let go of relationships that pull you farther away from peace. Release the pressure to become whoever people expect you to be just so they will stay. Bring your wounded heart to me instead of hardening it behind emotional walls. I can heal the insecurity that formed inside you after disappointment touched your life repeatedly. I can restore the parts of you that became fearful of trusting love again. But you must stop building your emotional survival around people who cannot carry the weight of your soul. Come sit beside me quietly and allow my love to steady you. Let me remind you who you are before the world convinced you that you had to beg for affection. You were never created to spend your life chasing crumbs of love, while my arms remained open, ready to hold you completely. My child, you were never created to beg for crumbs of love while my heart overflowed with living water for you. And even now, there are broken souls scrolling through darkness, aching to hear the reminder that they are still chosen, still seen, and still deeply loved by me. This message is becoming bread for the hungry, fire for the discouraged, and light for those who nearly gave up on themselves. When you give through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you help send my voice farther than you realize, reaching hearts at the exact moment despair tries to consume them. I am calling generous hearts into this assignment because the harvest is urgent, and the weary are many. Remember my words, whoever refreshes others will themselves be refreshed. As you pour into this mission, I will pour back into your life with favor, protection, and unexpected doors opening before you. Do not delay what I am placing on your heart right now. Stand with this work today through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and help carry my love to souls starving for hope. My child, I know how often your mind drifts toward tomorrow with fear instead of peace. You try to prepare yourself for every possible outcome because uncertainty makes your heart feel vulnerable. Sometimes you carry future problems emotionally before they even happen. You imagine conversations that have not occurred yet. You rehearse worst-case scenarios quietly inside your mind while still trying to function normally throughout the day. By the time night arrives, your body feels tired, but your thoughts refuse to rest. Come closer to me and stop carrying tomorrow as if you were meant to control every outcome yourself. You were never designed to live crushed beneath constant fear about what might happen next. I understand why uncertainty unsettles you. Life has disappointed you before. Certain seasons caught you off guard and left wounds that made you cautious about trusting the future again. But do not let past pain convince you that your future is already doomed. Look at how many moments you survived that once felt impossible. There were days you thought would completely break you, yet somehow you are still here. You may not have recognized it clearly at the time, but I was guiding you through every confusing season. I was protecting you from dangers you never saw and strengthening you quietly while you believed you were barely surviving. So stop trying to predict every detail of your future before allowing yourself to feel peace today. Sit with me now and release the pressure to figure everything out immediately. Trust grows slowly, my child, but invite me into your uncertainty instead of wrestling with it alone. Speak your fears honestly instead of burying them under distractions and forced optimism. I am already present inside the future you keep worrying about. The doors ahead of you are not hidden from me. The challenges ahead do not surprise me. Even now, while you are anxious about what tomorrow may bring, I am preparing strength, wisdom, and provision for moments you have not reached yet. Take a breath and loosen your grip on fear. Stop feeding your mind with endless worry until your soul feels suffocated by it. Let my presence interrupt those restless thoughts. Walk beside me one step at a time instead of trying to carry your entire future emotionally all at once. You do not need to know every answer today in order to trust me fully. Stay close to me. Keep bringing your thoughts back into my presence whenever fear starts pulling your heart into panic again. I will not abandon you halfway through your story, my child. I have been walking beside you this entire time, and I am not leaving now. My child, you have been carrying more inside your heart than most people realize. You wake up each day already mentally preparing yourself for responsibilities, conversations, worries, and pressures that never seem to slow down. Even when your body pauses, your thoughts continue running like a restless river that refuses to become still. I see how tired you have become from holding everything together while quietly convincing yourself that you must remain strong no matter how overwhelmed you feel inside. Come closer to me now and stop carrying burdens that are crushing your spirit slowly. You were never created to survive under constant emotional pressure without rest. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that asking for help made you weak, so you kept swallowing your stress in silence. You kept saying, "I'll handle it," even while your heart was becoming heavier with every passing season. But listen carefully to me, my child. Strength does not mean refusing support. Real strength is learning how to place your weary heart into my hands instead of forcing yourself to carry impossible weight alone. Bring me the pressure you hide from others. Bring me the exhaustion that sits quietly behind your smile. I already know how much energy it takes for you to appear okay when your inner world feels tangled and tired. You do not need to protect me from your honesty. Sit with me and speak openly about the fears that have been draining your peace. Let your guarded heart soften for a moment instead of staying locked in survival mode all the time. You keep worrying that everything depends entirely on you. That fear has followed you into your thoughts, your sleep, your relationships, and even your quiet moments alone. But release that fear now. Stop trying to control every outcome before it happens. Stop punishing yourself for not being able to fix everything immediately. There are situations you cannot carry successfully without leaning on me. Let me hold what has been exhausting your soul. Trust me enough to loosen your grip on the constant pressure to manage everything perfectly. You do not have to solve your entire future tonight. You do not have to silence every fear before coming near me. Just come honestly. Breathe slowly. Rest your thoughts for a moment inside my presence. I'm not standing far away waiting for you to become emotionally unshakable before helping you. I am already here beside you, ready to carry the weight that has made your spirit feel so tired. Let me be your resting place instead of your last resort. You do not need to collapse before allowing me to help you, my child. Come closer now and let your soul breathe again. My child, there were many moments when you questioned whether you were truly loved in a deep and lasting way. Certain experiences taught you to expect disappointment from people. Some relationships made you feel valued only when you were useful, productive, emotionally available, or easy to handle. Because of that, you slowly began carrying the fear that love could disappear the moment you became too tired, too emotional, or too imperfect. That fear settled quietly into your heart, and over time it changed the way you saw yourself. But come sit with me now and listen carefully. My love for you has never depended on your performance. I do not move toward you only during your best moments and disappear during your weakest ones. I've stayed beside you through every version of yourself, including the seasons when you felt spiritually distant, emotionally confused, and deeply discouraged. Even then, I never stopped looking at you with tenderness. You often measure your worth by how people respond to you. If someone withdraws affection, you begin questioning your value. If someone misunderstands you, you start wondering whether you are too difficult to love completely. But stop building your identity around unstable human approval. People may fail to understand your heart fully, but I know every hidden corner of your soul and still choose to remain close to you. Let my love reach the wounded places inside you that became insecure after rejection and disappointment touched your life repeatedly. Open your heart instead of expecting abandonment everywhere you go. You do not have to spend your life emotionally starving while trying to earn affection from people who cannot fill the emptiness inside your spirit. Come nearer to me now. Stop running from tenderness because you are afraid it will eventually disappear. My love does not shift according to your mood, your success, or your failures. It remains steady while everything else around you changes. That is why your soul feels calmer when you spend time with me honestly. Deep inside, your spirit recognizes the safety of my presence. I know you sometimes struggle to believe you are fully loved because pain trained your heart to stay cautious. But let me teach you something different. Rest here with me without fear. Stop expecting me to leave the moment your weakness becomes visible. I already know every flaw, every insecurity, every hidden struggle, and still I call you mine. You have been loved more deeply than you realize, my child, even during the moments when you felt completely alone. My child, there are certain things in your life that keep draining your spirit, yet part of you still returns to them because they feel familiar. Sometimes it is a relationship that leaves your heart anxious more than peaceful. Sometimes it is a habit that comforts you for a moment but empties you afterward. Sometimes it is the constant noise you surround yourself with because silence forces you to face emotions you have been avoiding. I see how these patterns quietly wear down your soul, and I need you to stop pretending they are harmless when you already know how deeply they affect your peace. Come closer to me and be honest about what keeps pulling your heart away from rest. You already feel the difference between what nourishes your spirit and what slowly exhausts it. Your soul recognizes when something is poisoning your peace even if your emotions still crave it temporarily. That inner discomfort you feel afterward is not punishment from me. It is your spirit trying to warn you that you were created for something deeper than temporary escape. Stop settling for comfort that leaves you emptier afterward. Stop reopening wounds I have been trying to heal inside you. I know why you return to certain people, habits, or distractions. Sometimes loneliness makes unhealthy things feel comforting because they temporarily silence the ache inside your chest. But my child, temporary relief is not the same as healing. You cannot heal your soul with the same things that keep injuring your peace. Sit with me for a moment before rushing back toward what keeps hurting you emotionally. Let your heart slow down enough to hear my voice clearly again. I am not speaking to you with anger. I am trying to protect the tenderness of your spirit. You have already spent enough time emotionally exhausted from cycles that leave you restless, guilty, and disconnected from yourself. Bring those cravings, attachments, and emotional patterns into my presence honestly. Stop hiding them from me while secretly struggling underneath the surface. I already know what battles you fight internally. I know how difficult it feels to let go of things that once comforted you, even when they no longer bring life into your soul. But trust me now and loosen your grip on what keeps pulling you backward. Invite me into the places where your self-control feels weak. Let me strengthen the parts of you that keep returning to emptiness when your heart is searching for love, relief, or reassurance. I did not create you to survive on shallow comfort while your spirit quietly starves for deeper healing. Come closer, my child. Choose the peace that restores your soul instead of the patterns that slowly destroy it. My child, every time you choose healing over the things that destroy your peace, chains begin breaking not only over your life, but over others who are watching your journey. There are people trapped in silent cycles of addiction, loneliness, fear, and emotional exhaustion who desperately need to hear the truth I am speaking through this message. This channel has become a lantern in dark places, and your support helps keep that light burning for those wandering through spiritual night. When you sow through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are planting seeds into ground that is producing eternal fruit. I see every sacrifice made with sincerity, and I promise you this: seeds planted into my work never return empty. I will guard what concerns you, strengthen what feels weak, and pour fresh oil over the weary places of your life. The enemy wants hearts to stay trapped in cycles that destroy them, but together we are pushing back darkness with truth, healing, and my living word. Do not wait for another moment to pass you by. Obey the stirring in your spirit now and support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description. My child, there have been times when you felt ashamed of how tired, distracted, or emotionally distant you became. You wanted your faith to feel stronger. You wanted your heart to stay steady instead of drifting through seasons of doubt, confusion, and spiritual exhaustion. Some days you felt close to me, while other days you struggled just to quiet your thoughts long enough to pray honestly. In those moments, you quietly wondered whether I was disappointed in you for struggling the way you do. But come near me now and stop believing that your weakness makes me love you less. I see the battle happening inside you more clearly than anyone else does. I know how hard you fight to keep going when your emotions feel heavy and your mind feels crowded with fear, stress, and uncertainty. I know there are days when your soul feels tired before the morning even begins. Yet even during those difficult moments, I have never stopped reaching toward you with tenderness. You keep thinking you must become spiritually stronger before you deserve closeness with me. But I want you to understand something deeply. I do not wait until you feel emotionally perfect before drawing near to you. I move toward you precisely in the moments when you feel weak, confused, or overwhelmed. Your struggle does not frighten me away. Your exhaustion does not cancel my love for you. So stop hiding from me when your heart feels messy. Stop withdrawing into silence because you are ashamed of your inconsistency. Bring your tired soul into my presence exactly as it is. Speak honestly instead of trying to sound strong. Tell me when you feel discouraged. Tell me when fear feels louder than faith. Tell me when life becomes so emotionally heavy that you no longer know how to carry it well. I can handle your truth, my child. Come sit with me quietly and let my presence steady you again. You do not need to impress me with polished prayers or perfect emotions. I would rather have your honest heart than your carefully controlled words. The moments when you feel weakest are often the moments when you need my closeness most deeply. Do not run from me because you are struggling. Run toward me instead. Let me hold the parts of you that feel emotionally worn thin. Let me strengthen the places inside you that became fragile after carrying too much alone for too long. I am still reaching for you, even now, and I am not letting go of your heart simply because you are having a difficult season. My child, I know how often you tell people you are okay even when your heart feels exhausted underneath the surface. You have become so used to carrying your emotions quietly that sometimes you barely recognize how overwhelmed you truly are. You keep moving through responsibilities, conversations, and daily routines while privately fighting battles nobody around you fully understands. There are moments when you feel emotionally drained before the day even begins, yet you still force yourself to keep going because you believe stopping would make everything fall apart around you. Come closer to me now and stop hiding your pain behind constant performance. You do not need to pretend with me. I already see the pressure sitting on your chest. I know the thoughts that keep circling through your mind late at night when everything finally becomes quiet. I know how lonely it feels when you carry heavy emotions while everyone else assumes you are handling life well. But listen carefully to me, my child. You were never meant to survive by suppressing every feeling until your soul becomes numb from exhaustion. Sit with me honestly for a moment and let your heart breathe without pretending. Tell me what has been hurting you. Tell me what has been draining your peace. Bring me the fears you keep swallowing because you are afraid of becoming emotionally vulnerable again. I am not asking you to become stronger before opening your heart to me. I am inviting you to stop carrying everything alone. You have spent so much time trying to stay composed that you forgot how healing it feels to simply rest in my presence without defending yourself emotionally. Your tears do not make you weak. Your struggles do not make you difficult to love. Some of the strongest people are the ones quietly carrying pain nobody else notices. And still, I have remained beside you through every hidden battle. Stop pressuring yourself to appear emotionally unshaken all the time. Let your soul soften in my presence again. You do not have to earn rest by reaching some perfect version of stability first. Come as you are right now, tired thoughts and all. Bring me the confusion, the disappointment, the frustration, and the silent heaviness you have been carrying for far too long. I want you to experience what it feels like to be fully seen without being rejected. That is why I keep calling you closer. Not to condemn you for struggling, but to remind you that my presence is still a safe place for your weary heart. Stop pretending you are fine when your soul is asking for comfort. Come sit with me instead and let me hold the parts of you that have been quietly breaking underneath the weight of life. My child, fear has been speaking to your mind for longer than you realize. Sometimes it arrives quietly through anxious thoughts that keep repeating themselves late at night. Sometimes it speaks through memories that still make your heart tense when you think about them. Other times it hides behind questions about your future, your worth, your relationships, or whether things will ever truly become better. Fear keeps trying to convince you that you are alone, unsupported, and responsible for carrying every burden by yourself. But come closer to me now and stop feeding your soul with thoughts that steal your peace. Listen to my voice instead of constantly listening to fear. Fear always rushes your thoughts into panic. My presence brings your heart back into peace. Fear tells you to expect disaster before anything has even happened. I remind you that you are not walking through life abandoned or unseen. You have spent too much time letting fearful thoughts control your emotions without bringing them honestly into my presence. Sit with me and slow those racing thoughts down for a moment. Breathe deeply. Let your mind rest instead of constantly preparing for worst-case scenarios. I know why you became fearful. Certain disappointments wounded your confidence. Some painful experiences made your heart cautious about trusting life again. But do not let old pain become the permanent lens through which you see your future. Bring those fears to me directly instead of carrying them silently inside your chest. Tell me what worries you. Speak honestly about the things that keep your mind restless. I am not intimidated by your anxiety, my child. I want to walk with you through it instead of watching you drown underneath it alone. Stop assuming fear is wisdom. Stop treating constant worry like protection. You cannot experience deep peace while allowing fearful thoughts to rule your inner world unchecked. Let my truth interrupt the exhausting cycle happening inside your mind. You are safer with me than your fear wants you to believe. Come sit quietly in my presence more often instead of immediately running back into noise and distraction. Give your soul space to hear my voice clearly again. My love was never meant to compete with chaos constantly filling your thoughts. Invite me into the center of your fear instead of trying to battle it alone. You do not need to know every answer today in order to trust me fully. Walk beside me one step at a time. Let me steady your heart when fear starts shaking your peace again. I have not abandoned you in the difficult seasons behind you, and I will not abandon you in the uncertain moments still ahead. My child, one of the quietest burdens you carry is the belief that you must somehow become more worthy before fully coming close to me again. You keep measuring yourself by your mistakes, your inconsistency, your struggles, and the seasons when your faith felt weak. Somewhere deep inside, you started believing that my presence belongs only to the strong, the disciplined, or the spiritually perfect. Because of that, you sometimes pull away from me when you need me the most. But come closer now and let that exhausting lie fall away from your heart. You do not earn my love through flawless behavior. You do not purchase my presence through perfect discipline. I never asked you to clean every broken part of yourself before sitting beside me. I already know every hidden weakness, every private battle, every fearful thought, and every place where your heart still feels unfinished. Yet even knowing all of that, I continue calling you near me. Stop waiting until you feel spiritually strong enough before opening your heart fully. Stop postponing closeness with me because you feel ashamed of your struggles. Bring your imperfect heart into my presence exactly as it is right now. Sit with me honestly instead of hiding behind guilt and self-condemnation. You have spent too much time punishing yourself emotionally while I have been patiently waiting for you to simply come home and rest beside me again. I know there are moments when you feel disappointed in yourself. You remember things you wish you handled differently. You replay certain failures quietly in your mind and wonder if they changed the way I see you. But my child, I am not holding your past over your head the way fear does. I am not standing at a distance demanding perfection before offering comfort. I move toward you with mercy even when your heart feels weakest. Come sit with me without pretending. Stop filtering your emotions before speaking to me. Tell me when you feel tired. Tell me when you feel spiritually numb or emotionally overwhelmed. I would rather hear your honest struggle than watch you hide behind polished words that never touch your real pain. You keep fearing rejection while my arms remain open toward you. Let my love reach the places inside you that became insecure after failure touched your life. Let me teach you that closeness with me was never built on performance. It was always built on relationship. You are my child before you are anything else, and I do not stop loving you when your heart becomes weary. Come closer now, and let yourself rest in that truth. My child, you do not have to earn my presence, and neither do those who are still lost, broken, and afraid to come near me again. That is why this message must continue reaching the wounded, the ashamed, and the exhausted who secretly believe they are too far gone for my love. I am breathing life into dry places through every word spoken here, and I am inviting willing hearts to help carry this stream of mercy farther across the earth. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you become part of the hands I use to reach souls standing on the edge of hopelessness. Did I not say, "Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy"? What you release from my kingdom, I will return with increase, covering your life with favor you did not expect. This is holy ground, my child, not a random video, not a casual moment, but a divine encounter appointed for such a time as this. The doors I open through obedience no man can shut, and the peace I release over generous hearts cannot be stolen by fear. So move now with faith and help spread my word through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link waiting in the description below. My child, there are days when you feel emotionally drained for reasons you cannot fully explain. You try to rest physically, but the exhaustion remains. You distract yourself with entertainment, conversations, work, or endless activity, yet something inside you still feels empty afterward. You keep telling yourself you simply need more sleep, more motivation, or a better season of life. But the deeper truth is that your soul has been starving quietly while your attention stayed focused on everything except the condition of your spirit. Come closer to me and stop neglecting the part of you that needs my presence most deeply. You care for your responsibilities. You care for your schedules and obligations. You try to care for other people emotionally. But your soul has been waiting for your attention too. You were never designed to survive spiritually disconnected from me while expecting your heart to remain strong and peaceful. I know how busy your mind becomes. I know how quickly distractions fill your days until your inner world becomes crowded with noise. But listen carefully to me now. Constant noise cannot heal a starving soul. Endless scrolling cannot replace my presence. Temporary comfort cannot nourish your spirit long term. That is why you sometimes feel restless even after spending hours trying to escape your thoughts. Your soul is searching for something deeper than distraction. Sit with me quietly for a moment and let your spirit breathe again. Turn away from the noise long enough to hear my voice clearly. Stop feeding your mind everything except truth. Stop pouring your energy into things that entertain you briefly while leaving your heart emotionally empty afterward. Your spirit needs closeness with me the way your body needs air and water. Invite me back into your daily life intentionally. Speak with me during ordinary moments instead of waiting until you feel emotionally desperate. Walk with me through your mornings, your worries, your decisions, and your quiet moments alone. Let my presence become part of your everyday rhythm again instead of your emergency response when life becomes painful. You keep wondering why peace feels distant while your soul remains spiritually exhausted. But peace grows where closeness with me is nurtured consistently. Come back to the place where your spirit feels alive again. Sit with me longer than your distractions want you to. Let my word settle the restless places inside you. Your soul has been thirsty for my presence far longer than you realize, my child, and I am inviting you now to stop starving spiritually while searching for life everywhere else. My child, there have been moments when you quietly questioned whether I was still moving in your life at all. You prayed for answers, waited for direction, and hoped for change, yet nothing seemed to happen as quickly as you expected. Because of the silence, your heart slowly became discouraged. You started wondering if your prayers were too small, your faith too weak, or your situation too broken for anything to truly change. I saw every one of those thoughts pass through your mind, even the ones you never spoke aloud. Come closer to me now and stop interpreting silence as absence. Just because you cannot immediately see movement does not mean I have stopped working. Some of the most important things I do in your life happen quietly beneath the surface where your eyes cannot yet recognize them. I have been protecting you from things you do not fully understand. I have been redirecting paths that would have damaged your peace later. I have been shaping your heart during seasons you thought were empty and meaningless. Sit with me for a moment and release the frustration you have been carrying. Stop measuring my presence only by visible results. You want immediate answers because uncertainty feels uncomfortable, but growth inside your soul often happens slowly and deeply. I know waiting hath been difficult for you. I know there were nights when disappointment settled heavily inside your chest because life did not unfold the way you hoped it would. But do not mistake delay for abandonment. Look back carefully at your life and notice how many times I carried you through situations that once felt impossible. At the time, you thought you would never recover emotionally, yet somehow you are still standing. You thought certain heartbreaks would completely destroy your spirit, yet I quietly strengthened you while you struggled to breathe through the pain. That was not luck, my child. That was my hand holding you together. So stop speaking hopelessness over your future before your story is finished. Bring your disappointment into my presence, honestly, instead of hiding it beneath forced positivity. Tell me where your faith feels tired. Tell me where your heart feels discouraged. I would rather walk with you through honest struggle than watch you silently drift away because you assumed I was no longer listening. Come closer again, and trust me beyond what you can currently see. I am still working in your life even during seasons when everything feels still. Your unanswered questions have not pushed me away. Your waiting season has not erased my plans for you. Stay near me, my child. There is more happening beneath the surface of your life than you realize. My child, there is a kind of loneliness you carry that very few people notice. It is not always about being physically alone. Sometimes you feel lonely in crowded rooms, during conversations, or even around people who care about you. You smile, respond politely, and continue through your daily routines, yet inside your heart there are moments when you still feel emotionally unseen. You long for deeper connection, deeper understanding, and deeper peace than this world seems able to offer consistently. Come sit with me honestly and stop pretending that loneliness no longer affects you. I know how many nights you distracted yourself just to avoid sitting quietly with your own thoughts. I know how often you reached for noise because silence forced you to confront emotions you were trying to avoid. Sometimes loneliness made you chase unhealthy attachments simply because you were tired of feeling emotionally empty. Other times it made you withdraw completely because disappointment taught you to protect your heart from further pain. But listen carefully to me now, my child. Isolation is not the same as peace. You were never created to live emotionally disconnected while pretending you no longer need closeness. Your soul was designed for relationship, for comfort, for love, and most deeply for connection with me. That is why loneliness feels so heavy when your heart drifts too far from my presence. Bring that hidden emptiness into my hands instead of burying it deeper beneath distractions and routines. Stop treating your loneliness like something shameful. Sit with me and let your heart become honest again. Tell me where you feel misunderstood. Tell me where disappointment made you emotionally guarded. Let me into the places where rejection wounded your confidence and made you fearful of trusting others fully again. I do not want you surviving emotionally numb while your soul quietly aches for closeness. Come closer and let my presence fill the spaces inside you that have felt abandoned for too long. My love reaches deeper than human attention ever could. I remain beside you even during the moments when nobody else notices your inner struggle. Stop convincing yourself that you must carry loneliness silently forever. Invite me into those quiet places where your heart still hurts. Let me remind you that you are not invisible to me. You are not forgotten. You are not emotionally abandoned. Stay near me now instead of running back toward distractions that only numb your ache temporarily. Your soul has been longing for real connection, my child, and I am still here waiting to hold your heart gently. My child, there are moments when you become frustrated with yourself because certain struggles seem to return no matter how hard you try to move forward. You look at areas of your life that still feel unfinished, weak, or inconsistent, and quietly wonder whether you will ever truly change. Sometimes you compare your growth to other people and feel discouraged because you think they seem stronger, calmer, or more spiritually steady than you. That comparison slowly drains your hope until you begin believing that maybe this is simply who you will always be. But come closer to me now and stop speaking hopelessness over your own soul. Change does not happen through self-hatred. Healing does not grow from constantly condemning yourself every time you fall short. I know how badly you want peace in those areas where you still struggle. I see the effort you make. I see the exhaustion that comes from fighting internal battles nobody else fully understands. And even during the moments when you feel disappointed in yourself, I am still working gently inside your heart. Stop expecting transformation to happen overnight while ignoring the quiet ways you have already grown. There are reactions you no longer have. There are patterns you now recognize more clearly. There are moments when you pause before returning to habits that once controlled you completely. Those changes matter, my child, even if they feel small to you. Healing often moves slowly because I am restoring your heart deeply, not temporarily. Sit with me honestly instead of hiding behind discouragement. Bring me the areas where you still feel weak. Tell me where temptation feels strong. Tell me where fear keeps whispering that you will never become different. I already know every fragile place inside you, and I am not turning away because growth feels difficult sometimes. Stop measuring your entire future by your current struggles. Your story is not finished yet. I have not abandoned the work I began inside you simply because the process feels slower than you hoped. Let me teach you patience with yourself. Let me strengthen the parts of you that became tired from constantly fighting alone. Come walk with me one day at a time instead of demanding perfection from yourself immediately. I am not asking you to transform through your own strength. I am asking you to stay close to me while I continue shaping your heart. Do not quit on yourself while I am still healing you. Keep coming near me. Keep opening your heart honestly. Keep choosing closeness with me even on difficult days. You are changing more than you realize, my child, and I am not finished restoring you yet. My child, do not believe the lie that change is impossible, because even now I am transforming lives through this message in ways human eyes cannot fully see. Some who are listening today were moments away from giving up, yet my voice reached them like rain falling onto dry ground. I am raising up a people who will help carry this healing farther, people who understand that every seed sown into my work becomes part of someone else's breakthrough. When you support through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you help release streams of hope, restoration, and truth into homes filled with silent battles. My word is living fire, and every act of generosity becomes fuel for the flame that keeps reaching the lost, the weary, and the forgotten. Hear me clearly. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy. I am watching every obedient heart, and I will multiply what is given with provision, protection, open doors, and peace that surpasses understanding. The time for hesitation is over. Step into this divine assignment now and support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description. My child, the world around you constantly competes for your attention. Noise surrounds you from every direction. Opinions, distractions, worries, expectations, endless conversations, and endless scrolling all pull at your focus until your inner world becomes crowded and restless. Sometimes you move through entire days without giving your soul a quiet moment to breathe. Then, When night finally comes and the noise slows down, you suddenly feel the weight of emotions you spent all day avoiding. Come sit with me now and let the noise settle for a while. Stop filling every quiet moment with distraction just because silence feels uncomfortable. I know why you avoid stillness sometimes. Silence forces you to face thoughts and emotions that busyness temporarily hides. But your soul cannot heal while constantly running from itself. You need moments where my voice becomes louder than the chaos surrounding your life. Listen carefully to me, my child. Not every voice speaking into your mind deserves authority over your peace. Some voices increase fear. Some create insecurity. Some constantly pressure you to prove yourself, compare yourself, or worry about things beyond your control. Yet my voice speaks differently. I draw your heart toward peace, wisdom, clarity, and rest. That is why your spirit feels calmer when you spend genuine time with me instead of remaining trapped inside constant mental noise. Create space for me again. Turn away from distractions long enough to hear my presence clearly. Sit quietly with me without rushing. Walk with me through ordinary moments instead of only reaching for me when life becomes painful. Invite me into your mornings before fear fills your thoughts. Bring me your heart before the world starts demanding your energy. You keep searching outside yourself for peace while ignoring the relationship your soul needs most deeply. Stop feeding your anxiety more consistently than you feed your spirit. Stop allowing temporary distractions to shape your emotions more than my truth shapes your heart. You were never designed to survive spiritually disconnected while noise controls your inner world. Come closer now and let my presence become familiar again. Let my words settle the restless places inside you. The more time you spend near me, the easier it becomes to recognize which voices bring confusion and which voice brings life. I want you to know my presence so personally that even in the middle of chaos, your soul still remembers where peace lives. My child, too much of your self-worth has been shaped by the way people treated you during painful seasons of your life. Some ignored your heart when you needed comfort the most. Some walked away while you were still trying to hold everything together. Others spoke carelessly into your life and left wounds you still carry quietly today. Over time, those experiences began changing the way you saw yourself. You started questioning whether you were valuable enough, lovable enough, or important enough to deserve lasting peace and genuine care. But come closer to me now and stop allowing wounded people to define your identity. The way someone treated you does not determine your worth. Their inability to love you properly was never proof that you were difficult to love. I know rejection made your heart cautious. I know disappointment left you emotionally guarded. But do not keep punishing yourself because others failed to handle your heart gently. Sit with me honestly and let me show you how I see you. You keep looking at yourself through the eyes of pain, but I see far deeper than your wounds. I see the tenderness inside you that survived difficult seasons. I see the strength it took for you to continue moving forward while carrying silent heartbreak. I see the compassion you still offer others even after life disappointed you repeatedly. Those qualities mattered, my child. Your pain did not erase your value. Stop chasing validation from people who cannot heal the insecurity living inside your heart. Stop overextending yourself emotionally just to feel accepted temporarily. You were never meant to build your identity around unstable human approval. Human affection changes quickly, but my love toward you remains steady through every season. Bring those hidden insecurities into my presence instead of burying them beneath forced confidence. Tell me where rejection still hurts. Tell me where your confidence weakened because of words people spoke carelessly over your life. Let me heal the places where you started believing you were unworthy of deep love and lasting peace. Come sit beside me and release the pressure to prove yourself constantly. You do not need to earn your value through performance, productivity, or endless emotional sacrifice. You already matter deeply to me. That truth does not change when people misunderstand you, disappoint you, or fail to recognize your heart fully. Look at yourself through my love instead of through your wounds. Let my voice become stronger than the painful memories still shaping your self-worth. You are not defined by who left you, who rejected you, or who failed to stay. You are still precious to me, my child, and nothing about your past can remove that truth. My child, you have become so accustomed to carrying pressure that resting sometimes feels uncomfortable to you. Even during moments when your body slows down, your mind continues racing. You think about unfinished responsibilities, future worries, conversations, mistakes, and expectations until your inner world feels constantly busy. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that your worth depends on how much you accomplish, how much you help others, or how much emotional weight you can carry without breaking. But come closer to me now and stop treating rest like weakness. You were never created to live under endless pressure without renewal. I see how exhausted your soul has become from constantly pushing yourself beyond emotional limits. You keep trying to be available for everyone while quietly neglecting your own inner condition. Then when your heart feels drained, you blame yourself for being tired instead of recognizing how much you have been carrying for too long. Sit with me quietly for a moment and release the guilt you feel when you pause. Rest is not laziness, my child. Your spirit needs restoration the same way your body needs sleep. Yet you keep forcing yourself to stay emotionally alert all the time because you fear falling behind, disappointing people, or losing control over situations around you. That constant tension is exhausting your peace slowly. Let me teach you a different rhythm. Breathe more slowly. Stop rushing through every moment as if your value depends on constant productivity. Spend time with me without treating it like another task you must complete perfectly. Walk outside and let your soul become still. Sit quietly in my presence without immediately reaching for distractions to avoid your thoughts. You do not have to earn rest by completely exhausting yourself first. You do not need permission from the world before allowing your heart to breathe again. I want your soul healthy, peaceful, and grounded in my presence, not constantly overwhelmed and emotionally scattered. Bring me the pressure you place on yourself. Tell me why you struggle to slow down. I know some of that pressure was shaped by fear. Fear of failure, fear of disappointing people, fear that if you stop pushing so hard, everything around you might collapse. But listen carefully to me now. The world does not rest safely on your shoulders alone. Come sit beside me more often and let your spirit recover. Let my presence calm the constant urgency inside your mind. Your heart does not need to remain trapped in survival mode forever. I want you to experience the kind of peace where your soul finally feels safe enough to rest without fear or guilt. My child, you have carried emotional exhaustion for so long that you sometimes forget what it feels like to live without heaviness pressing against your spirit. You wake up already mentally preparing yourself for another day of responsibilities, expectations, conversations, and silent battles happening inside your mind. Even when nobody notices your struggle, you still force yourself to keep going because you feel responsible for holding everything together. Over time, you became so used to surviving in exhaustion that you stopped recognizing how deeply your soul needs care and restoration. Come closer to me now and stop treating your tiredness like failure. You are not weak because your heart feels overwhelmed. You are not disappointing me because you reached emotional limits. I see how hard you have been trying. I see the quiet effort it takes for you to continue functioning while your inner world feels drained. Some of your exhaustion comes from carrying pain silently. Some comes from constantly overthinking situations you cannot control. Some comes from giving too much of yourself away while neglecting the condition of your own spirit. Sit with me honestly and release the pressure you keep placing on yourself. You were never created to survive by constantly suppressing your emotions while pretending you are unaffected. Your heart was not designed to carry endless stress without rest. Yet you keep criticizing yourself for being tired instead of recognizing how much weight you have been holding alone. Stop demanding perfection from yourself while your soul is exhausted. Stop speaking harshly to yourself during difficult seasons. I would never speak to you with the cruelty your own thoughts sometimes use against you. Come sit beside me and let my presence soften the tension living inside your chest. Breathe deeply for a moment. Slow down your thoughts. Allow your spirit to rest instead of constantly bracing itself for the next problem. You do not have to prove your strength by ignoring your emotional needs. Bring your weariness into my presence openly. Tell me where life feels too heavy. Tell me where disappointment drained your energy. Tell me where your heart feels close to giving up. I am not overwhelmed by your honesty, my child. I want you near me precisely during the moments when your soul feels weakest. Let me care for the tired parts of you that you keep neglecting. Let me remind you that rest is not something you must earn after destroying yourself emotionally. You matter to me even when you are exhausted. Stay close now and allow my love to hold the parts of your heart that have been carrying too much for too long. My child, as you rest your weary heart in my presence, remember that there are countless other souls carrying silent exhaustion just like you, waiting for one message of hope to remind them they are not alone. I am using this mission like oil poured into empty lamps, bringing light back into hearts that nearly gave up in darkness. When you give through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link in the description, you are not simply supporting a channel. You are helping release living water into dry and broken places. Have I not told you, give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over? I speak that promise over every seed placed into this work with faith and obedience. Do not ignore this moment if you feel my spirit stirring your heart, because this is not coincidence. It is a divine invitation to help carry my word farther than you can see. The harvest attached to your generosity will reach souls you may never meet until eternity. Sow your seed now through Super Thanks, become a member, or give through the PayPal link in the description, and let your obedience become part of the healing I am releasing across the earth. My child, there have been seasons when your heart felt softer toward me than it does now. There were moments when you sensed my presence more clearly, when your spirit responded more quickly to my voice, and when spending time with me felt natural instead of difficult. But life became noisy. Pain distracted you. Responsibilities crowded your attention. Slowly, without fully realizing it, your heart began drifting into emotional distance again. Come closer to me now before that distance grows deeper. Do not ignore the quiet ache inside you that keeps calling you back toward my presence. Your soul already feels the difference between closeness with me and spiritual dryness. You know what it feels like when your inner world becomes restless because too much time has passed without genuine connection with me. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to return fully. Stop assuming you need to feel spiritually strong before opening your heart again. Come exactly as you are right now. Bring me your distracted thoughts, your inconsistent emotions, your doubts, your weariness, and the areas where your faith feels fragile. I would rather meet you honestly in your weakness than watch you keep postponing closeness because you are ashamed of struggling. You do not realize how much your soul misses my presence when you drift too far into distraction. Temporary things quickly consume your attention, but afterward your spirit still feels empty because nothing else satisfies the deeper hunger inside you. That emptiness is not punishment from me. It is your heart reminding you where it truly belongs. Sit quietly with me again. Turn away from the endless noise for a while. Let your soul breathe in my presence without rushing away emotionally. I am not asking you for performance. I am inviting you back into relationship. I miss the moments when you spoke openly with me instead of carrying everything silently inside your own thoughts. I miss your honesty. I miss your trust. I miss the closeness your soul was created for. Do not let disappointment harden your heart toward me. Do not let fear, distraction, or exhaustion slowly pull you farther away from the peace your spirit desperately needs. Come back before numbness settles deeper inside you. Return before the noise around you becomes louder than my voice again. I am still here waiting for you, my child. My arms are still open. My love has not changed because you drifted. Sit with me now and let your heart soften again. You do not need to live spiritually disconnected while your soul quietly longs for home. My child, I see how desperately you want peace. Beneath all the responsibilities, the conversations, the routines, and the distractions, your soul keeps searching for somewhere safe to rest. You try to calm your heart through temporary comforts, but many of those things only quiet your emotions for a moment before leaving you emptier afterward. Some distractions make you feel numb instead of healed. Some relationships pull energy from your spirit instead of restoring it. Some environments leave your mind restless long after you walk away from them. Yet you keep returning because part of you hopes that maybe this time things will finally feel different. Come closer to me now and stop feeding your soul with what keeps exhausting it. You already know the difference between what brings peace into your spirit and what slowly steals it away. Your heart feels lighter when you stay near my presence. Your thoughts become calmer when you speak honestly with me. But when you drift too deeply into noise, unhealthy attachment, or constant distraction, your inner world becomes unsettled again. Sit quietly with me for a moment and pay attention to what your soul has been trying to tell you. Not everything that comforts you is healing you. Not everything that occupies your attention deserves access to your heart. You were never created to survive emotionally dependent on temporary things while neglecting the condition of your spirit. That emptiness you keep feeling afterward is not random, my child. Your soul recognizes when it is being fed something shallow while longing for something eternal. Stop returning to places that constantly leave your spirit tired. Stop forcing yourself to stay connected to things that repeatedly drain your peace. I know some attachments are difficult to release because they became familiar during lonely seasons of your life. But familiarity is not the same as healing. You cannot keep pouring your heart into what slowly weakens your spirit while expecting deep peace to grow inside you. Bring those attachments into my presence honestly. Tell me what keeps pulling your attention away from rest. Let me strengthen your heart where you feel emotionally dependent on things that cannot truly satisfy your soul. I am not trying to take joy away from your life. I am trying to protect the tenderness of your spirit from becoming exhausted and empty. Come sit with me longer than you sit with your distractions. Let my presence refill the places inside you that have been running dry. You do not need to keep searching endlessly for peace while I remain here waiting to hold your heart gently. Real peace begins when you stop running back toward what drains you and start remaining close to the one who restores you completely. My child, there were seasons when you felt spiritually distant, emotionally confused, and unsure of where your life was even heading anymore. You kept moving forward outwardly, but inside your heart there were moments when you felt disconnected from yourself, disconnected from peace, and sometimes even disconnected from me. You questioned your purpose. You questioned your direction. There were nights when you quietly wondered whether anyone truly understood how lost you felt beneath the surface. But come closer to me now and listen carefully. I never abandoned you during those seasons. Even when your thoughts became dark and heavy, I stayed beside you. Even when your prayers became inconsistent and your faith felt weak, I remained near your heart. You may not have sensed my presence clearly at the time, but I was still guiding you through moments that could have completely destroyed your spirit. I know there were days when you felt emotionally numb and exhausted from trying to figure everything out alone. You searched for answers everywhere while quietly carrying confusion inside your chest. Some of your pain came from disappointment. Some came from uncertainty. Some came from carrying unresolved wounds while pretending you were okay. Yet through all of it, I continued watching over you with tenderness you could not fully see. Stop looking back at those lost seasons as proof that I abandoned you. Look again and notice how many times you were protected without realizing it. Notice how many situations could have ended far worse than they did. Notice how your heart kept surviving moments that once felt unbearable. That was not your strength alone, my child. I was carrying you quietly while you struggled to keep moving. Come sit with me now and stop punishing yourself for the seasons when you felt confused. Growth often happens in places where clarity feels absent for a while. I know you wanted immediate answers, but some lessons required time to shape your heart more deeply. Do not let shame convince you that your wandering seasons erased my love for you. Bring me the parts of your story that still confuse you. Tell me where you still feel regret, disappointment, or unanswered pain. I want to heal those places instead of watching you bury them beneath distractions and silence. You do not have to keep carrying the fear that you somehow lost your way beyond recovery. I am still here, my child. I never stopped reaching toward you. Even during the seasons when you felt spiritually lost, your soul was never outside the reach of my love. My child, I see how often you keep yourself busy because slowing down forces you to feel emotions you have been trying to avoid. You move from one distraction to another, not always because those things matter deeply to you, but because silence sometimes feels uncomfortable. When your mind finally becomes still, hidden fears begin surfacing. Old disappointments return to your thoughts. Loneliness becomes harder to ignore. Questions you pushed aside during the day suddenly rise inside your heart at night. So you fill your attention with noise again because it feels easier than sitting honestly with your soul. But come closer to me now and stop running from the deeper places inside you. Your distractions may numb your emotions temporarily, but they cannot heal your spirit. You were never meant to spend your life avoiding your inner world while your soul quietly grows more exhausted underneath the surface. I know why you became this way. Pain taught you to stay mentally occupied because stillness once felt too heavy. But healing cannot grow where honesty is constantly avoided. Sit quietly with me for a moment and let your heart breathe without immediately reaching for something to distract you. I am not asking you to carry your emotions alone. I am inviting you to bring them into my presence instead of hiding from them. Tell me what still hurts. Tell me what memories still affect your peace. Let your walls come down slowly instead of staying emotionally guarded all the time. You keep searching for relief in temporary escapes while your soul continues longing for deeper restoration. Not every distraction is evil, my child. But some things have become places where you hide from your own heart instead of places where you truly find peace. I want more for you than emotional numbness disguised as comfort. Come closer and allow yourself to be fully present with me again. Turn away from the endless noise long enough to hear what your spirit has been trying to say. Your soul is tired of surviving on shallow comfort while carrying deeper pain silently underneath. Let me into those hidden places. Let me sit beside you in the quiet moments you usually avoid. You do not need to fear your own emotions when I am here with you. Stop escaping every uncomfortable feeling immediately. Some healing only begins when you become honest about what is happening inside your heart. I am not overwhelmed by your sadness, your confusion, or your weariness. Bring all of it into my presence. Stay near me instead of running back toward distractions that leave your spirit emptier afterward. Your soul has been waiting for this kind of closeness longer than you realize. My child, every time you choose my presence over endless distraction, your spirit becomes a light that can guide others out of their hidden darkness too. There are wounded hearts scrolling through these messages late at night, searching for peace while silently battling fear, loneliness, and exhaustion. I am using this ministry like a river flowing through dry places, carrying comfort, conviction, and restoration to souls who almost stopped believing they mattered. When you support this work through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link in the description, you help keep that river flowing into homes, hospitals, bedrooms, and broken hearts around the world. Did I not say whoever refreshes others will himself be refreshed? I am watching every act of obedience and every sacrifice made with love for my kingdom. Do not call small what I can multiply through willing hands, because even one seed surrendered to me can become bread for many hungry souls. Act now, give through Super Thanks, join as a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, and become part of the healing your generation desperately needs. My child, there are times when you look at your life and quietly wonder whether you have drifted too far from me to feel truly close again. You remember moments when your heart felt more alive spiritually. You remember seasons when prayer came more naturally and your faith felt stronger. Then life became complicated. Pain entered places you did not expect. Certain disappointments weakened your trust. Gradually, distance formed between your heart and my presence, and now part of you fears that things may never feel the same again. But come closer to me now and stop believing that your struggles have changed my love for you. I have never stopped reaching toward your heart, even during the seasons when you barely reached back. I saw every moment when guilt made you withdraw emotionally. I saw every moment when shame convinced you to stay distant instead of coming honestly into my presence. Yet through all of it, I continued waiting patiently because my desire for closeness with you never disappeared. Stop thinking you must repair yourself completely before returning fully to me. Stop delaying intimacy with me because you feel spiritually inconsistent or emotionally messy. Bring your imperfect heart here now. Sit with me honestly instead of hiding behind fear and self-condemnation. You do not need polished words or perfect emotions to come near me. I already know the deepest places inside you, and I am still inviting you closer. Listen carefully to what your soul has been trying to tell you. The ache you feel inside whenever you drift too far from my presence is not punishment. It is love. Your spirit was created for relationship with me, and nothing else can fully replace that closeness. That is why distractions eventually leave you empty. That is why temporary comfort fades so quickly. Your soul recognizes when it is far from home. Come back to me without fear. Let go of the belief that you are too far gone, too inconsistent, or too broken for deep connection with me again. I am not measuring your worth by your weakest seasons. I am looking at you with the same love I have always carried for you. Sit quietly with me now, and let your heart soften again. Open the places inside you that became cold from disappointment and exhaustion. Let my presence reach the parts of your spirit that have been starving for closeness. I am still here, my child. I am still calling you nearer. And no matter how far you feel you have drifted, my love for you has never moved away. My child, there are struggles inside you that nobody else fully sees. You have learned how to continue functioning while quietly carrying emotional battles beneath the surface. You answer questions with short replies, smile during conversations, and keep moving through responsibilities while your inner world feels heavy and exhausted. Some days you feel mentally drained before the morning even fully begins, yet you still push yourself forward because you believe you must keep everything under control. But come closer to me now and stop fighting your silent battles alone. You were never meant to carry hidden pain without support. I know the thoughts that visit your mind when nobody else is around. I know the fears you rarely speak aloud because you worry others may not understand them. I know the private disappointments that still ache quietly inside your chest even after so much time has passed. Nothing about your inner struggle is hidden from me. Sit with me honestly instead of pretending you are unaffected. Tell me where your heart feels weak. Tell me where anxiety hath been stealing your peace. Bring me the emotional weight you keep hiding behind daily routines and responsibilities. I am not asking you to appear strong while you are hurting inside. I want your honesty more than your performance. You spend so much energy trying to carry yourself emotionally that you forget you have somewhere safe to place your burdens. Stop replaying every fear endlessly inside your mind without bringing it into my presence. Stop sitting alone with painful thoughts while believing you must solve everything by yourself first. Come to me before exhaustion completely drains your spirit. I know some of your wounds formed because you felt unsupported during difficult seasons. You became cautious about opening your heart because disappointment taught you to protect yourself carefully. But do not let past pain isolate you from the comfort your soul desperately needs now. My presence was never meant to feel distant from your real emotions. Bring your confusion to me. Bring your anger, your weariness, your disappointment, and the thoughts you are afraid to say aloud. Come sit beside me for a while and let your soul rest without pretending. You do not need polished prayers or carefully controlled emotions. I can handle your truth, my child. I would rather hear your trembling honesty than watch you silently drown underneath emotional weight you were never designed to carry alone. Let me hold what have been hurting you. Let me strengthen the places inside you that became tired from surviving silently for too long. My child, there is a reason your soul keeps reaching back toward me no matter how distracted life becomes. Even after seasons of drifting, even after moments when your attention became consumed by other things, something inside you still longs for closeness with me again. You may try to satisfy your heart through temporary comfort, endless activity, or human approval, but eventually your spirit grows restless because nothing else reaches the deepest part of who you are the way my presence does. Come closer to me now and stop ignoring that longing inside your soul. It is not weakness. It is not emotional instability. It is the truth of how you were created. You were never designed to live spiritually disconnected, while expecting lasting peace to remain inside you. That is why certain distractions leave you feeling empty afterward. That is why success alone never fully satisfies your heart for long. Your soul recognizes when it is far from the place where it truly belongs. Sit quietly with me and pay attention to what your spirit has been trying to say beneath all the noise. You miss the closeness you once felt with me. You miss the peace that came when your heart rested more fully in my presence. You miss feeling spiritually alive instead of emotionally scattered and drained. I know you have tried to keep moving forward without slowing down long enough to face that emptiness honestly. But your soul cannot continue starving while pretending everything is fine. Stop running back toward things that cannot truly sustain your spirit. Stop giving temporary distractions more of your attention than the relationship your heart needs most deeply. Come back to me intentionally. Open your heart again instead of keeping your emotions guarded and distant. Let my presence become real to you again in everyday moments, not just during crisis or pain. I'm not calling you closer because I want to control you. I am calling you closer because I know what happens to your spirit when you live too far from my peace for too long. Your soul becomes tired, restless, anxious, and emotionally thirsty. But when you remain near me, something inside you begins breathing differently again. Your heart softens. Your thoughts become quieter. Your spirit remembers what peace feels like. Come sit beside me now and stop resisting the closeness your soul have been craving. You do not need to earn your way back into my presence. You only need to stop running from the love that has been reaching toward you all along. My child, one of the heaviest lies you keep carrying is the belief that you must handle everything alone. Somewhere along your journey, you learned to rely entirely on yourself because people disappointed you, misunderstood you, or were absent during moments when you needed support the most. Over time, you became emotionally independent not because your heart wanted isolation, but because pain convinced you it was safer not to depend too deeply on anyone. Now you carry burdens silently while telling yourself you should be strong enough to survive without help. But come closer to me now and let that exhausting weight fall from your heart. You were never created to navigate life alone. I did not design your soul to carry constant fear, pressure, confusion, and emotional exhaustion without support. Yet you keep trying to survive through your own strength while your spirit grows weaker underneath the surface. Sit with me honestly for a moment and stop pretending you are unaffected by the weight you carry. I know how tired you feel. I know how often you replay situations inside your mind searching for answers you cannot control. I know the pressure you place on yourself to keep functioning even when your heart feels emotionally drained. But my child, your strength has limits. That is why I keep inviting you to lean on me instead of forcing yourself to carry impossible burdens alone. Bring your fears to me before they consume your peace completely. Bring me the responsibilities that have been crushing your thoughts. Tell me where you feel uncertain, overwhelmed, or emotionally worn down. I am not asking you to become self-sufficient before coming near me. I am asking you to trust me enough to stop carrying everything without letting me help you. You spend so much time trying to hold yourself together that you rarely allow yourself to rest in my presence fully. Stop thinking dependence on me is weakness. Your soul was created for closeness with me. That is why life feels heavier when you drift too far into self-reliance and distance from my presence. You were never meant to survive disconnected from the one who gives your spirit strength. Come sit beside me now and loosen your grip on the pressure to manage everything perfectly. You do not have to figure out your entire future tonight. You do not need to carry every unanswered question alone. Let my presence steady your heart again. Let me remind you that you are deeply loved, fully seen, and never abandoned in the middle of your struggles. I am still here beside you, my child, and you do not have to walk through life by yourself anymore. My child, just as I never intended for you to carry life alone, I also never intended for my word to spread without willing hearts helping carry the burden together. There are souls standing at the edge of despair right now, waiting for one message, one prayer, one reminder that I have not abandoned them. This mission is not sustained by human strength alone. It moves like holy fire through those who choose to partner with me in faith. When you give through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are helping send hope into places where darkness has tried to silence truth. Remember my words, cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again. I am able to multiply what leaves your hand and return it with favor, protection, and unexpected provision over your life. If you feel my spirit nudging you right now, do not harden your heart or delay your obedience, because this moment carries eternal weight. Support this mission now through super thanks. Become a member, or sow your seed through the PayPal link in the description, and help me reach the weary hearts still crying out for hope. My child, there are fears inside you that form slowly over time. Some were born through disappointment. Some came from rejection, heartbreak, uncertainty, were painful experiences that left deep marks on your heart. You may not even realize how much those fears influence the way you think, react, and protect yourself now. Certain fears make you hesitate to trust people fully. Others make you expect loss before happiness has time to settle into your life. Sometimes fear becomes so familiar that you stop questioning it, and begin building your life around it instead. But come closer to me now and stop allowing fear to shape your heart more than my love does. I know why those fears developed. I know how deeply certain wounds affected your spirit. I know there were seasons when you felt unsafe emotionally, and because of that, your heart learned to stay guarded. Yet living trapped inside constant fear is exhausting your peace slowly, my child. Sit quietly with me for a moment and let your walls soften. Bring those hidden fears into my presence instead of burying them beneath distraction and overthinking. Tell me what you are afraid of losing. Tell me where your trust became fragile. Speak honestly about the worries that keep replaying inside your mind late at night. I already know every anxious thought living inside you, and I am not turning away because your heart feels afraid sometimes. Stop feeding fear until it becomes louder than truth. Stop imagining disaster before life has even unfolded. Fear keeps convincing you that you must remain emotionally guarded to survive, but constantly protecting yourself also keeps your soul from resting fully in peace. I do not want you trapped in survival mode forever. Come closer and let me teach your heart what safety feels like again. Let my presence calm the places inside you that always expect pain, disappointment, or abandonment. You do not have to carry constant tension inside your chest while pretending everything is fine. Rest here with me instead of wrestling endlessly with fearful thoughts by yourself. I know healing fear takes time. I know trust feels difficult after certain experiences wounded your heart deeply. But do not keep surrendering your peace to thoughts that drain your spirit. Invite me into those fragile places where fear still controls your emotions. Let my love reach deeper than the wounds that shaped your fears. You are safer with me than your fear wants you to believe, my child. Stay close now, and allow your heart to slowly breathe again instead of constantly bracing itself for pain. My child, there are moments when you revisit your past and feel overwhelmed by regret. Certain memories still carry emotional weight because you wish you had chosen differently, spoken differently, trusted differently, or walked away sooner. Sometimes you replay painful seasons inside your mind and quietly blame yourself for everything that went wrong. You look at old mistakes and wonder how life might feel today if you had handled things differently. That regret sits heavily on your heart and slowly steals your peace without you even realizing how deeply it affects you. But come closer to me now and stop chaining your heart to moments that can no longer be changed. I know your past completely, my child. I know every decision made from fear, loneliness, confusion, exhaustion, or emotional pain. Yet I do not look at your story with condemnation the way you sometimes do. I see the wounds you were carrying at the time. I see how certain disappointments shape your thinking. I see the battles inside you that nobody else understood while you were trying to survive difficult seasons. Sit with me honestly and release the burden of replaying your past endlessly. Regret cannot heal you. Punishing yourself emotionally will not rewrite your story. I do not want you trapped in yesterday while missing the peace I still want to give you today. Your life is more than the worst moments you experienced. Your identity is not permanently defined by seasons when your heart felt lost or afraid. Bring those painful memories into my presence instead of carrying them alone. Tell me where guilt still follows you. Tell me where shame keeps whispering that you ruined too much to move forward peacefully again. I already know every hidden regret inside your heart, and still I am reaching toward you with love instead of rejection. Stop believing that your mistakes disqualified you from healing. Stop assuming your failures erase your value. I am still working within your story even after painful chapters you wish never happened. Some lessons were learned through heartbreak. Some wisdom came through loss. Some growth only became possible after your heart broke open in ways you never expected. Come sit beside me now and let your soul breathe without constantly looking backward in sorrow. Let me teach you how to move forward without carrying endless self-condemnation. Your past may explain certain wounds inside you, but it does not control the future I still have for your life. I am not asking you to pretend your pain never happened. I am asking you to stop living emotionally imprisoned by it. Come closer now, and let my love reach the places where regret has been quietly draining your hope for far too long. My child, too often you wait until your heart becomes completely overwhelmed before finally turning fully toward me. You try handling situations alone first. You search for answers through worry, overthinking, distraction, or emotional isolation. You exhaust yourself mentally trying to carry burdens in your own strength, and only after your peace becomes shattered do you quietly reach for my presence again. But I never wanted to become your final option after everything else failed. I have always wanted to walk beside you from the beginning. Come closer to me now and stop carrying life alone until exhaustion forces you to collapse emotionally. Bring your thoughts to me earlier. Bring your fears to me before anxiety takes over your peace completely. Sit with me before your heart becomes so overwhelmed that you feel spiritually numb and emotionally drained. I want closeness with you during ordinary moments, not only during emergencies. You were never meant to spend your day disconnected from my presence while trying to survive through constant self-reliance. The path leaves your soul exhausted because your heart was created to remain near me consistently. I know you have learned to depend heavily on yourself because life taught you to stay emotionally guarded. But my child, you do not need to carry every burden privately before allowing me near your struggles. Tell me what is weighing on your mind now instead of burying it beneath distractions and silent stress. Let my presence interrupt the cycle of fear and overthinking before it grows heavier inside your chest. You keep trying to solve everything mentally while your soul quietly longs for rest beside me. Sit quietly with me before the noise around you becomes louder than peace again. Invite me into your decisions, your worries, your conversations, and your quiet moments alone. I want relationship with you that feels personal and alive, not distant and occasional. Let me become part of your everyday life instead of someone you only reach for when pain becomes unbearable. Stop believing you must appear strong before coming close to me. Come honestly. Come tired. Come uncertain. Come emotionally messy if you need to. I already know the condition of your heart, and still I continue inviting you near me with tenderness. You do not need to wait until everything falls apart before seeking my comfort. I am already here beside you now. Come sit with me before fear grows larger. Come talk with me before loneliness deepens. Come rest with me before exhaustion overtakes your soul again. I want to walk through life with you daily, my child, not stand at a distance waiting for you to remember that you need me. My child, there have been many moments when your spirit tried to warn you before your heart became wounded again. Deep inside, you sensed when something was unhealthy for you emotionally. You felt uneasiness before certain relationships drained your peace. You noticed discomfort before certain decisions pulled you farther away from rest and clarity. Yet sometimes you ignored those quiet warnings because loneliness, fear, pressure, or emotional attachment felt stronger in the moment. Later, after the pain arrived, you looked back and realized your soul had already sensed something was wrong long before your mind admitted it. Come closer to me now and stop silencing the voice inside you that recognizes when peace is leaving your heart. I have been guiding you more often than you realize. Not every closed door was rejection. Not every delay was punishment. Some things were removed from your path because I knew where they would eventually lead your spirit. I know it frustrated you when plans changed unexpectedly or when certain people drifted away from your life. But there were moments when I protected you from deeper pain you could not yet see clearly. Sit quietly with me for a while and pay attention to your spirit again instead of constantly overriding it with emotion, pressure, or fear of disappointing others. Your soul recognizes when something pulls you away from peace. Stop ignoring that inner tension just because you want certain things to work out desperately. I did not create you to live disconnected from wisdom while chasing what slowly weakens your heart. Bring your confusion into my presence honestly. Tell me where you feel emotionally torn. Tell me where attachment keeps blinding your judgment. Let me strengthen the part of you that already knows when something is harming your spirit, even if your emotions still crave it temporarily. You keep asking for guidance while ignoring the gentle conviction already stirring inside you. Slow down and listen more carefully. My voice does not lead you deeper into chaos, fear, emotional exhaustion, or spiritual emptiness. My presence draws you toward peace, clarity, honesty, and life. Come closer now and stop rushing ahead of wisdom. Let your heart become teachable again instead of stubbornly holding on to what drains your spirit. You do not need to fear my guidance, my child. I am not trying to take joy away from your life. I am trying to protect the tenderness of your soul from paths that would eventually leave you wounded and restless. Stay near me long enough to hear clearly again. Your spirit has been whispering truths your distractions keep trying to silence. Let me guide you gently instead of waiting until pain forces you to finally stop and listen. My child, the same spirit warning and guiding your heart is also calling you to recognize this sacred moment before you scroll away and forget what I am stirring inside you. There are people trapped in confusion, emotional chaos, and spiritual exhaustion who desperately need the light of my truth before their hearts grow colder in darkness. I am using this ministry like a lampstand in the night, and every seed given helps keep that flame burning for souls searching for direction. When you support through Super Thanks, membership, with a PayPal link in the description, you are helping release my voice into places where fear and despair have spoken for too long. Did I not tell you that those who sow generously will also reap generously? I speak increase, protection, and open doors over every cheerful giver who obeys my prompting today. Do not silence the conviction you feel right now, because some blessings are tied to the moments when you choose obedience instead of hesitation. Give now through Super Thanks, become a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, and let your seed become part of the guidance and restoration I am releasing to countless hearts. My child, there are parts of yourself you secretly struggle to accept. Certain insecurities still follow you quietly even when nobody else notices them. Sometimes you criticize yourself harshly for things you wish were different about your personality, your emotions, your past, your appearance, or your weaknesses. You compare yourself to others and wonder why you cannot seem to feel as confident, peaceful, or whole as they appear to be. Over time, the quiet self-criticism slowly drains your joy and leaves your heart emotionally exhausted. But come closer to me now and stop viewing yourself only through the lens of insecurity. I know every detail about you already, and still I love you completely. I see the qualities inside you that pain keeps trying to hide from your own eyes. I see the tenderness of your heart. I see the compassion you offer people even after your own heart was wounded. I see the quiet strength it takes for you to continue moving forward during difficult seasons. Yet you often overlook those things because your attention remains trapped on what you believe is lacking inside you. Sit with me honestly and let your walls soften for a moment. Tell me where you feel insecure. Tell me what parts of yourself you struggle to accept. Stop hiding behind false confidence while quietly carrying self-rejection underneath the surface. I am not asking you to pretend your wounds do not exist. I am asking you to stop defining your identity by them. You spend so much energy focusing on your flaws that you rarely allow yourself to receive love fully. But my child, healing becomes difficult when you constantly speak against yourself internally. I never intended for your inner voice to become another source of pain in your life. I want you to learn how to see yourself with gentleness instead of constant criticism. Come sit beside me now and let my love reach the places inside you that became insecure after years of comparison, rejection, disappointment, or emotional hurt. You do not need to earn the right to feel loved by becoming perfect first. You already matter deeply to me exactly where you are today. Stop punishing yourself for being human. Stop expecting yourself to carry flawless strength all the time. Let me teach you how to extend compassion toward your own heart the same way you so easily extend it toward others. I am not ashamed of you, my child. I am not disappointed by your imperfections. Stay close to me now, and let your soul finally experience what it feels like to be fully known and still deeply loved. My child, so much of your emotional exhaustion comes from trying to build lasting peace on things that were never meant to carry the weight of your soul. You become deeply affected by circumstances changing around you. When people disappoint you, your peace weakens. When plans fail, fear grows louder. When life feels uncertain, your thoughts begin racing toward worry and discouragement. Without realizing it, you often allow temporary situations to decide the emotional condition of your heart. But come closer to me now and stop anchoring your soul to things that constantly change. Human emotions shift. Circumstances rise and fall. People come and go. Seasons of life move quickly. Yet you keep expecting temporary things to provide permanent security for your spirit. That is why your peace feels unstable whenever something unexpected happens. Your soul was never created to rest safely inside fragile things. Sit quietly with me for a moment and listen carefully. I want your heart rooted somewhere deeper than circumstances. I want your peace connected to my presence instead of constantly depending on external stability. When your spirit remains close to me, difficult seasons may still come, but they will no longer completely control your inner world the way they once did. Stop allowing fear to take authority over your thoughts every time life becomes uncertain. Stop measuring your future only by what your eyes can currently see. I know uncertainty makes you uncomfortable, my child, but your security was never supposed to depend entirely on visible answers. You keep searching for guarantees before allowing yourself to feel peace. Yet true trust begins when you remain close to me even while certain questions remain unanswered. Bring your worries into my presence instead of carrying them endlessly inside your mind. Tell me what keeps your heart restless. Tell me where fear still controls your emotions. I already know every anxious thought moving through your spirit, and still I continue inviting you closer instead of pushing you away. Come sit beside me and let your soul become grounded again. Turn your attention away from constant fear and back toward my presence. You were never meant to build your emotional stability on people, outcomes, or temporary circumstances alone. I want your heart anchored somewhere eternal, somewhere steady, somewhere unshaken by every storm around you. Stay near me now, my child. Let my peace become stronger inside you than the chaos surrounding you. The world around you will continue changing, but my love for you does not move with the instability of life. You can rest safely in that truth even when everything else feels uncertain. My child, your soul has been trying to tell you something for a long time now. Beneath all the distractions, the responsibilities, the emotional struggles, and the constant noise around you, there is still a deep longing inside your heart for closeness with me. You have tried carrying yourself through difficult seasons. You have tried surviving through your own strength, your own understanding, and your own emotional endurance. But no matter how hard you push yourself, there always comes a moment when your spirit feels tired again because your heart was never meant to live separated from my presence. Come closer to me now and stop resisting the dependence your soul truly needs. You do not weaken your life by leaning on me. you find life through remaining near me. I know the world taught you to rely entirely on yourself. I know disappointment made you emotionally cautious, but your spirit grows weary whenever you try carrying burdens without letting me hold your heart through them. Sit with me honestly and let your defenses fall for a while. Stop pretending you can continue surviving spiritually empty while your soul quietly aches for peace. You already know what happens when you drift too far from my presence. Your thoughts become heavier. Fear grows louder. Loneliness deepens. Temporary comforts lose their ability to satisfy you. Your spirit starts feeling restless because deep inside, your heart remembers where true peace lies. Bring me your whole heart now instead of giving me only small pieces while the rest remains hidden behind fear and distraction. Let me into your decisions, your emotions, your future, your relationships, and the private places inside you that still feel fragile. I do not want distant connection with you, my child. I want closeness that becomes part of your everyday life. Stop waiting until life completely overwhelms you before returning fully to me again. Come now while your soul is still listening. Sit beside me before exhaustion grows deeper. Talk with me before fear becomes heavier. Let my presence fill the emptiness you keep trying to satisfy through temporary things. You keep whispering in your heart, Lord, I can't live without you, because somewhere deep inside, your spirit already recognizes the truth. Without my presence, your soul becomes tired trying to survive on things that cannot truly sustain you. But when you remain close to me, something inside you begins breathing differently again. Peace returns. Hope strengthens. Your heart softens. Come closer now and stop running from the love your spirit had been longing for all along. I am still here waiting for you, my child, and I always will be. My child, after everything you have walked through, your heart is finally beginning to understand something deeper than words alone can explain. You were never meant to live disconnected from me. That emptiness you kept feeling through different seasons of your life was not because you were beyond healing or impossible to satisfy. Your soul was simply trying to survive without the closeness it was created for. You searched for peace in people, achievements, distractions, comfort, and temporary affection, yet nothing could fully quiet the ache inside you because your spirit has always belonged near me. Come closer to me now and stop resisting the truth your heart already knows. You need my presence more than your pride wants to admit sometimes. Not because you are weak, but because your soul was designed for relationship with me. I have been the steady place underneath every difficult season you survived. Even during the moments when you felt lost, exhausted, emotionally numb, or spiritually distant, I remained beside you quietly, holding your life together in ways you never fully saw. Sit with me for a while and let your heart become honest without fear. You already know what life feels like when you drift too far from my presence. Your thoughts become heavier. Your peace weakens. Your spirit feels restless no matter how many distractions surround you. But when you return fully to me, something inside you begins breathing again. Hope returns slowly. Peace settles deeper. Your soul feels safe enough to rest. Stop trying to survive emotionally on things that cannot sustain your spirit. Stop forcing your heart to live on shallow comfort while longing for deeper connection. Bring me your whole life now, not just the polished parts. Bring me the weary places. Bring me the fears you still carry quietly. Bring me the questions, the regrets, the loneliness, and the exhaustion. I want all of you near me, my child. Come sit beside me daily instead of only reaching for me during painful moments. Let my presence become the center of your life again. Talk with me honestly. Walk with me closely. Rest with me without constantly running back toward noise and distraction. Your soul has spent too long searching everywhere else for what only I can truly give you. And now, after every painful lesson, every restless season, every hidden tear, and every moment when your spirit quietly cried out for something more, your heart is finally speaking the truth clearly. Lord, you are my everything. I can't live without you. That truth does not push me away from you, my child. It draws you closer to the place where your soul was always meant to belong. My child, now that your heart has spoken the truth, Lord, you are my everything, I can't live without you. Do not keep that revelation to yourself while millions still wander spiritually empty and exhausted. I am calling my children to become carriers of my presence in this generation, pouring oil into lamps that are about to go out and speaking life into hearts crushed by hopelessness. Every time you support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you help send my word farther across the earth like seeds scattered into fields ready for harvest. Have I not promised that those who honor me will never lack what they truly need? I see every sacrifice, every act of faith, and every generous seed sown with love for my kingdom, and I will breathe favor, provision, and protection back over your life. This is not merely support for a video. This is participation in eternal work that reaches souls long after this moment passes. Do not wait until another day to obey what I am placing on your heart right now. Give through Super Thanks, become a member, or sow through the PayPal link in the description, and help carry my presence to the broken, weary, and searching souls who still need to hear my voice. Before you leave this moment, I want you to do something powerful. Do not keep this message locked silently inside your heart. If you know deep inside that your soul has been longing for God more than anything else, then declare it boldly in the comments. Lord, you are my everything. I can't live without you. Let those words become more than a comment. Let them become your surrender, your prayer, and your return back to His presence. And as you write them, believe that God is drawing closer to the weary places inside you even now. Amen.